Good evening.
And
Welcome to the... God, I can't even remember. It's been too long. Welcome to the...
I'll start coughing on the mic straight away.
Doc Day Drinking Podcast.
We need
live
a better
from...
a forest clearing in northern Tasmania.
Yeah. Hi. We've been a while.
3 months.
Been a minute.
The old laptop I dropped
I was
wine
going to say
on,
we're drinking out of stemless wine glasses at the moment.
so I can't. These have a much lower centre of gravity.
So someone can't spill it on their MacBook. And...
On a $3,000 MacBook.
Yeah.
So, pro tip, children: any liquid at all on a $3,000 laptop completely destroys it, and there is nothing you can do about it.
No, they're made to fail.
They
with
are made
liquid.
to fail.
Yep. So go Apple.
So I bought a $4,000.
But you got the Apple Care.
Yeah, which was another.
You must have to have because Jesus fucking Christ.
It's how it's designed to be.
Like, no normal could just go, oh yeah, I'll just buy another one.
Yeah, well, I did.
You're not normal.
Anyway, so
how is everyone? Hi.
Greetings. Do I look less fat now?
He is less fat now. You're 20 kilos less fat now.
Not in the last 3 months.
Really?
I'd be 5 or 10 kilos less fat.
Oh no, that's right. We're banging on about diets for a while, weren't we?
I pretty much started this when I started my diet.
But you
to distract me, if anything. So that's why I got used to the diet, so I stopped podcasting. So.
But you've hurt yourself.
Ish. I have. Ish. So we can talk about that later on. Right. So, but I was going to say, yes, we're back. I have a few notes, not many, but
I've just noted down things that have happened in the last 3 months. To me,
I'm sure there's a bit of the podcast wasn't doing very much, but why would it? It's just two arseholes in northern Tasmania talking.
So you're saying we're not going to be Joe Rogan?
Have to move to Texas.
Damn it.
That'd be more interesting. Would have to become more interesting.
I think we're going next year.
But anyway, there were a few reasons. So I said there was, just whatever. Got a bit sick and tired of doing it. Then I decided to pop my head below the parapet a little bit for a couple of reasons, both of them related to vast sums of money, again for normal people. So one was around a government grant, but 3 months on they still haven't decided. No,
they're useless. They're a government department.
Whether or not to approve an extension for this grant or not. So that's fine.
Don't rush them.
It's only how much money is left in there? It's only $60,000 or $70,000 worth of taxpayers' money that they don't seem all that fussed about, and us repeatedly saying to them, guys,
what's happening?
What do you
What do you want us to do?
What do you want us to do? And
don't make a decision or anything.
Yeah, so that's that, and then I'm also doing some work for the court. Which would probably civil, not criminal.
Decided to tone it down slightly for 3 months.
So we thought we'll tone it down slightly.
I dressed up for the occasion too. You're welcome.
Yeah, get your tits out.
No, I've got my dressing gown on. You're welcome.
Is there any clothes on underneath it?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, thank Christ for that.
Nobody needs to see that.
So anyway, so I thought, well, and then 2 weeks became 2 months and 3 months.
And I pestered you a little bit, but it's your thing. I'm not going to...
You've been constantly saying...
Yeah, because you kept banging on about, I need 100. I want you to do 100. And I committed to 100, and then you fell off the cliff. I could have been done by now.
For reasons I've already explained. I'm frightfully important.
That's
and also...
It was been 3 months. That's 90 days. I could have been done by now.
Very obnoxious. So, anyway. So, no, they were the reasons... They were the reasons to sort of think, It's been winter, and it's been miserable here in Tassie. We've had so much friggin' rain, it's not funny. Yeah,
we live in a mud pit at the moment still.
It hasn't been too bad the last week. There has been some sun.
There has been some sunshine.
But so much for that. Oh, it's going to be a dry winter, and you're all going to burn to death because,
here.
No one does any burn-offs anymore because COVID or greenies or... Jesus or something.
No, they do burn-offs in New South Wales.
Well, they don't do any here.
Yeah.
Not a single one.
Yep.
And it's too wet to do any burn-offs anyway, so
yeah.
You would have to soak the ground in paraffin and then light it.
Yeah.
You actually have to start a fire when you can still burn, guys.
Yeah,
you don't
retarded.
wait until the middle of winter.
They're not interested in that.
So, anyway, don't get us started on the fire brigade. But I don't think it is the fire brigade on that one. Well, certainly
No, I think
not
it's all the
local
higher
one.
ups in the fire brigade / council / government wringing their hands over what to do. It's like you need to
So keeping the subject on the fire brigade for a moment. So yeah, so of that I could do a whole series of podcasts on how stupid that is. So what used to be, quite frankly, the equivalent of somewhere between looking after one's own interests so your house doesn't burn down, and men's shed, somewhere in between there, that was the organisation for a very long period of time. To now, they lost a lot of bark in that one. When were those fires where there was like a Four Corners episode or something, or some sort of expose on that, where they behaved quite poorly? I think that was the case. I think they lost a bit of bark there. But anyway, all I was going to say is that it's so unbelievably bureaucratic. It's more bureaucratic. I've worked for the tax office, and the volunteer fire brigade is more bureaucratic and there's more rules and there's more things. Like, you got to do all these courses, and there's like books, like workbooks that are literally 4 inches thick. They're 100 mil thick that you have to do. So I was completely wrong. I take it all back.
You're welcome.
And when you were halfway through the second course, just going, fuck this guy, I'm walking out of here. And I'm just going, calm down. Let's just get through it. And you had people whose opinion we did respect to a point, certainly nowadays. But anyway, that's another story, and not on camera.
No.
Coming in and talking off the ledge, just going, just calm down and
get it done, and then you'll be fine.
But it's been nothing but worse since.
No, nothing. I've been in the So how long have we lived here? 3 years.
Yeah.
3 and a bit years. And I think we were pretty quick to join up because, again, we're rural and it's very bushy, and, we wanted to participate and hopefully get some reciprocation if anything went to shit where we live. Because, again, Tasmania had a big fire season, I think, the year before we moved down here full time.
We got decorated because we were a part of the fire brigade.
I got something and I wasn't even there.
Yeah, we said, no, we can't accept this.
No.
And they just said,
just take it.
Just take it.
Okay.
Use it as a paperweight,
But, I don't know what I was going to say.
How bureaucratic it is, and that you've been a part of it for a few years.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. So I've been part of it for 3 years. I've done no back burning. None. Not a single thing. I don't think I've done anything useful either. Nothing. Not one.
No. I've gone to...
I haven't been to a call-out.
I've been to one fire. I've been to one fire that I called in with a car that was dumped and on fire. It's mostly, the fire brigade out here is mostly what you and I would consider police or ambulance work.
Yeah, the low-hanging fruit for them that they don't want to do, or they haven't got the staff to do.
Yeah,
because I'm not going
to car accidents.
I'm not interested in car accidents. I'm not interested in escaped animals. I'm not interested in, what else is there? Like cleanup or traffic duty, that kind of shit.
Well, mostly during COVID, it was going and
checking
being
on
the
people.
Stasi.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But my thing is, you can't do any, like, it's just occupational health and safety.
Oh yeah,
the entire
you
thing.
almost
That's
have to sign a waiver every time you go there.
That's the beginning, the middle, and the end of it.
So bad.
And you say, and funny, I didn't think we'd ever be discussing this, but anyway, such is the nature of podcasts. But to give you an example, because they said, "Do you have any feedback?" And I went, like the last meeting, and I went, "Oh yes, I have some feedback." And I just said, you don't tell us what training is. So if you don't tell me what training is, I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
Because we started going to training.
I was going to interrupt you and say, we went to it was meant to be a big deal on a Sunday morning, I think it was. Both of us were tired because we've been out late. We've got a bar that goes till stupid o'clock in the morning.
Not
and
anymore.
It was
That's another session
9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday morning, and we're like, you've got to be there, it's going to be great, really interesting, worthwhile. We turn up at 9 o'clock. No one was organised, and then the whole lot of them walk off to go and get coffee. And we're standing there like assholes going, are we getting started or what? Like, we've turned up on time and you're not doing anything.
And there was one guy there.
And we ended up leaving. We went, all right, see ya.
There was one
Gave
guy.
You 15 minutes.
Oh, we were there a little bit longer than that. I think we were probably there. I don't think we were there half an hour. Let's say somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. But it became clear when talking to another guy, that Sam chap, where it was like, oh yeah, like this is the army, hurry up and wait, like and like who knows? And it's just like, well, this is Sunday morning.
I don't do well with that.
And no, neither do I.
You're wasting my time, and you're not organised, and you should be
and
embarrassed.
And you're rude because the other one said, we'll start when we're good and ready. The organisers are organising.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
are you?
Real.
Maybe you could have done this beforehand, because they're all paid too. They weren't the volunteers.
Yeah.
So it's like, you haven't done your fucking job, have you?
Well, I don't know. Were they? Because I hadn't thought of that until you've just mentioned it. If the organisers were all there on a fucking Sunday rate, well, maybe they was reason to.
Great. Yeah, they were in different. I'm pretty sure they were full timers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, whatever.
But how on earth did we get onto that? I can't remember. But rewind, tell us. Yeah, so there's the fire brigade just randomly. So yes, anyway, so that's why we were doing that. But I tried to find out what big things have happened over the last few months since we last on. I did have a quick
World
look.
events.
Yeah. So ChatGPT's bloody useless because I asked ChatGPT, tell me the major world events, because Googling didn't work. So
oh really?
Yeah, there wasn't, like I said, what major world events have there been since May? And then I thought that's definitely a question for an AI.
Who died? It'd answer that. Sinead O'Connor.
We'll come back there.
Her funeral was today.
What was the other big one that died? Sinead O'Connor, and who else snuffed it?
Oh, that MasterChef guy, but that's probably not a big one for you. That was a big one here.
I don't think it's a big one for anybody, was it?
I think because he was on TV. I don't know who else died.
So we're never going to cure cancer. Some chef dropped dead. Damn, I knew it. There was somebody else with Sinead O'Connor around the same sort of time. John Olsen snuffed it. That slightly increases the value of one of my paintings. Thanks, John.
I don't know. I can't remember. I'm going to Google.
There was somebody else. But I did. Well, what I was going to say was that I did look at the last thing that we're talking about, and we're talking about interest rate rises. And yes, I was right. Funnily enough, we did get another one.
Oh, were we?
Because I said back then, gaze into your crystal ball.
Tina Turner. Yeah,
there's somebody else though. But yeah, Tina Turner, Sinead O'Connor,
Alan Arkin.
Yeah.
Jane Birkin.
He was good.
Raquel Welch died this year. You know
Yeah.
that. Lisa Marie Presley died this year as well.
Yeah.
David Crosby.
Raquel Welch was 400.
Harry Belafonte.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really? God, he's one of those ones.
Cormac McCarthy, the author.
was-
Jane Birkin.
How was Harry Belafonte still alive? Deo. Midnight
Jeff Beck.
Gunman,
Maybe that's Pee Wee Herman.
No.
No.
There was someone that I thought snuffed it around the same time as Sinead, just fairly recently. That was like, oh, okay, that was a bit of a surprise. But anyway,
Her funeral was interesting today. All I heard
really?
was that it was today, and there was
Fiddly-dee
lots of
potatoes.
people, and her hearse was covered in gay pride flags and blaring Bob Marley. Apparently,
she was a bit confused, weren't we?
like, Jesus.
Weren't we? Well, not Jesus, Allah.
Yeah.
Wasn't she a Muslim in the last
Yes, she was.
little while?
She was wearing a hijab.
So what's with the gay pride? Because our Muslim friends usually aren't all that.
I know.
They're not that progressive.
Well, the gay pride and the Bob Marley doesn't go. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know. So yes, anyway, so that was amusing. So what else has happened? I've been in about 400 bar fights, which bears no resemblance to the coincidence of me going back to training. But so we had a few. We've had. So our view on Launceston, I'd be interested to know in the comments if if we ever get one, and B, if anyone has. Everyone is sad and angry, and it's not just the lower classes. The middle class seems pretty upset as well, because I've just seen so much violence, senseless, pointless violence, of people trying to start fights over absolutely nothing.
it's almost like they're trying to feel something. Like they want a physical. Because my thing, which I always bang on about. people don't have physical consequences to things anymore, and it's almost like...
Well, I've certainly doled out a few of them.
It's almost like, well, again, a couple of those guys are like, come on, hit me, you know you want to fight. It's like, Jesus Christ, you want someone to hit you so you feel something. Is that what's going on?
I don't know. Well, the big one was a guy, so for the benefit of dear reader, guy came into the bar, tried to fight, or tried to get into the bar.
Didn't even get into the bar. Walked in the hallway up to our bouncer and took a swing straight at him.
And our bouncer, who is a wall of meat, shout out to Danny.
Hey, Danny.
Just basically went... Didn't touch me. So, because I've been in a fight earlier with Danny out the front of that bar when people started throwing bottles of beer at us. Also, people that didn't get into the bar, licensing, thank you, was, until they touch him, he doesn't give a shit. So how he hasn't got stabbed in the face is beyond me. But anyway, so this guy, tried to pick a fight with Danny. Danny wouldn't bite, and then we just kept walking him out. And then he just keeps trying. He was off his face on methamphetamine.
Yeah, but he was perfectly clean.
In
from work in work gear, like high vis, like he was clean, but he had day glow on, and he had the name of his company written on the front of him. So clearly not thinking.
And in the end, we kept telling him, just go home, go away, go home, go away, and he wouldn't, and he just kept trying to get a fight, and then he took a swing at me, and then I hit him in the head with a building, and then
plonked him on the ground,
and I
waited for the police, who then came and arrested him after I carefully restrained him whilst causing him no injury whatsoever, Your Honour. Though I did get covered in blood. He ripped his shirt, didn't he? Was that one?
No, that was the other one. And then, the police turned up and promptly arrested him and charged him with assault. And
he's currently underway.
And then, so hopefully I hear no more about that. But it was pretty funny though, because again I was full of adrenaline. It was pretty funny when someone say, "Oh, did he connect that punch at all?" When I showed the video, I was like, "Look, that right hook started in Cleveland and then went through Wisconsin and then crossed the Atlantic." It's like I could see that coming from a mile away. I was like, turn him around, whack him into a wall.
So that was number one.
That was dangerous. As I said, he was dangerous. He was a decent size. He was younger than me. He was 10 years younger than me, and he was looking for
fight.
And it wasn't his first blow.
No. He's a bit rough around the edges too.
So there was that one. Then what was the other one?
There's been 4.
Oh Christ, I'm running.
Well, do we count the Irish one? Remember where you got almost glassed at the Irish?
Oh, I did technically get glassed. Was that since then? I can't remember.
I think so.
But anyway, trying to make it fun. And not going through the one where I did actually get up to a little bit of mischief, where we chased that guy from one end of the town to the other.
Oh yeah, that was bizarre.
And we had
people are just nuts.
And we had a bit of feedback from the police was basically saying don't charge him because you won't get out of.
You probably should have left him alone.
He looks like that young gentleman won't be coming back to Launceston soon. But the last one I think is the funniest. The one that was a little bit funny in terms of this was very recently. So the last two, I got some very good advice from a younger friend of mine. Don't stand up, just sit down. Because people pick fights. People are picking fights with everybody.
Left, right and centre.
And this guy, bless him, shout out to Dimmy, lovely guy, but he's fucking helpless. And he goes out on the prowl constantly around this town. And again, for our Sydney viewers, Launceston is basically Campbelltown.
I think it's rougher than Campbelltown.
And probably rougher. It's Mount Druitt multiplied by Lethbridge Park. Plus Campbelltown divided by the crossing.
But again, I haven't been to Campbelltown in a while because, as I said, I was talking to someone on the phone from Sydney, and they reckon that there's a lot of angry people up there too.
Yeah. So, but this one was funny. I was at a pub early in the morning, and there was not our bar, a fairly notorious bar in town. And they're minding my own business, and this mad woman came in, who I'd had in the bar before, who meant no ill will, but she was basically a half Maori Kiwi, and if anyone's had any experience with them, yes, I'm being a racist, they're mostly the same. They've never lived indoors. They're mad.
Usually funny mad, though.
But that's it. Funny, happy, mad.
Yeah.
But mad.
Yeah.
Completely and utterly mad. And on the firewater, which they can't handle.
Off she goes. Yeah.
And so she's running around, like grabbing people on the nipples and grabbing guys on the deck and going, ah, and running around like a chook with their head cut off, right? And so I'm there with this friend of mine and two other blokes, and having a fairly normal conversation. This other guy's dressed like he's just compared an award show, so he's got it was basic. It didn't have this will be the men's sartorial section of the podcast. So it was basically a shawl collar dinner jacket with a. Oh, it's wonderful with a.
Delightful. Yeah,
it's delightful, but it had sparkly shit in it. It wasn't quite sequins, but it looked like it'd been
like brocade or something.
That's beyond. I know the difference. I know the difference between a normal collar and a shawl collar. Yeah. You know what a shawl collar is, don't you? Good, yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I've got a half one at the moment. Yeah.
But good evening, Mr.
Yes,
Bond.
Hello.
But yeah, so it was kind of it looked like it had been dusted with glitter, So but again, brocade is
wanky jacket.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure it was lovely at Lowe's, and one of the things I said, "Oh, that's lovely. Does it come in men's?" Wonder
but
why.
You weren't actually talking to him, from what
so
you
I
told
wasn't
me.
actually talking.
You were talking
anyway,
to Dimmy.
I was talking to Dimmy, and then
and
this woman
inserted himself into the conversation after you'd said
so
to Dimmy.
All I had said is, "Oh God, it's what's her face? Oh God." I knew I should have punched her in the face last time. I can't remember. I either said I had punched her in the face, or I should have punched her in the face last time I saw her. And let me assure you, dear reader, especially if I put a photo up, she'll have been punched in the face.
That's not the point, though.
Beforehand. It's not the point.
You were not saying that.
I wasn't saying that. It was it was an off the cuff. Yes. It was a throwaway line.
Yes.
It was hyperbole, which I'll say in a minute. So this guy. Perfect. Everyone smiles and happy and talking, and all of a sudden I make that throwaway line, and then he's off to the races. We've gone from 0 to 100 mile an hour in like 0.2 of a second, and you would hit people, and then did you hit her, or you are the kind of bloke, you're a shithead, I fucking hate you, and you and your shit bar, I hope you go to thing, like just all this vitriol and just came out of him. So clearly he doesn't like me, and clearly he's been looking there for any excuse. I don't know this guy from a fucking hole in the wall.
No.
And off he goes.
Sad, angry man.
And
is he white?
Yeah.
Angry white man.
White cue ball, the angry white man. And
being black, I can say that.
Clearly.
So he just starts launching into you.
So he just launches into me, right? And now, again, I also remind... You
were sitting down.
I was sitting down. I wasn't getting up.
Good.
And off he goes. And I said, mate...
just go away.
Just go away. It's a throwaway line. Oh, you're... I said, look, get out of my face. Go away. Go have a chill pill. Calm down. I can't... Again, I can't remember exactly what was said. And I wasn't drunk. No. I wasn't drunk. I had a few, but, I wasn't blah, blah, blah. And he just kept going on and on and on. And then I'm going, oh, look, I'm not interested in this conversation. And then he was trying to get personal. He's like, fuck you and your fucking shit bar and blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, mate, you're not a fighter. Like, I know you're not. I can tell you're not. So don't get into a fight here, And I said, it was hyperbole. You'd know what that was if you went to a school that wasn't free. And then he's, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he knocks my hat off. Like, I'm wearing my stupid hat. And he knocks my hat off. And I go, all right. Okay. I pick my hat up. I turned my back to him to turn around and put my hat. That's how much I cared about this guy, Put my hat back on, and I just went, if I get out of this chair, I'm going to fucking kill you. So you need to go away. And if you put your hands up again like that, I'm going to get out of this chair and you're going to hospital. And he's going, oh, I'd like to see you try it. And Dimmy, who knows what I'm capable of, especially these days, and he's going, no, Brett, you sit there, you stay there, you need to go, don't, no, you know. And I just said, just fuck off. And like when somebody, I've got to go. I heard something about Georgetown. It's like, yeah, fuck off back to Georgetown, you poor bastard. And apparently, I find out later, this is a real
sore point.
Because apparently, afterwards I said to him, why does he live in Georgetown for? Oh, he couldn't afford anywhere in Launceston. I go, who can't afford to live in Launceston? And then, anyway, so this guy's girlfriend drags him out of there. He's still like kicking and screaming at me as she's pulling him out of there. So he gets to live another day. That's good. But then straight away, the other guy that was there, this ginger fuckwit that works at another bar, is saying, I don't like what you were saying about poor people or something. And I just went, and I just said, I'm not doing this. Like, I've been through the looking glass I don't know how many times.
Your face. Like...
I don't give a fuck what you think. Okay, so that's where we're going to start. I don't care what you think. So, do we have a problem?
Oh dear.
Can we change the subject? And then they did actually change the subject. And because then afterwards, and I was just going, and I said to Dimmy afterwards, after this guy went, I just said, what the fuck is it? And he's going, I'm sick of being Switzerland. And I said, well, don't be. He said, this guy, he does this all the time. And I'm going, how?
He needs a smack in the head then.
How?
That's what I mean. No physical consequences.
Ton of teeth for a guy.
He needs a smack in the face.
You know? And again, if he lives in Georgetown, he's going to do that. If he goes to one of the local bars...
There's plenty of people in Georgetown that can help him with a smack in the face.
Someone that I wrote a court reference for went into a bar there with a set of knuckle dusters and cleaned a guy's clock for him very well. And to hell with the CCTV and all the rest of it, you know. So I mean, and
what a twat.
And that's and I kind of like that guy.
Like you'd say, he's Tasmanian middle class, right? Yeah. He had a sparkly jacket on, so
he had a very nice coat on. So anyway, so we do digress, but that's the thing. It's just
hence the bar is now for sale.
Anyone watching that's looking at it, it's got nothing to do with each other. But no, it's the bar's 3 years old in tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow? Really?
Tomorrow, although it was Thursday last year, so technically on Friday.
Cool. Yep.
So, and as you said, it was a 3 or a 5 year project.
Yep.
And
so
my view is
turned out to be a 3 year project.
Let's call it at 3.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to buy a bar, it's a lifestyle though.
And as we've said,
our clientele's pretty good.
It's fine, but for
people in the bar,
for a local Launceston, for somebody who knows the area and all the rest of it, and is well liked, not like me,
but no,
it would
good earner if you want to live the hospitality lifestyle.
It's a good earner. Hospitality, you make a third of it, but it's fine. It's turned over $750,000 over the last 3 years. On average, open 2.5 days a week.
So we're only open 2.5.
So I mean, if you've got a little bit of scratch and you want to live it, and preferably be single or in a loveless relationship,
and have some fun
and just sit in a bar and drink yourself a new arsehole,
and only work 2.5 to 3 days a week. Because again, with the extra bit, once you do your inventory and stuff, it'd be 3 days. That's it. To earn yourself $150,000 a year.
Yeah. So I don't want it.
So tree change, whatever. Yeah, no, we're done. We want to do other things. We've got heaps of projects to do.
I want to go to Texas. I want to buy another boat. So we've forgotten a bit. Because that's the thing. I want to finish. No rush. Like over the next year or something. I want to get rid of that other boat and then replace it with something I can literally sail the 7 seas with if I feel like it. So that'll be a part of that, and maybe we'll get you a sports car as you keep.
Got to get a road first. Yeah, maybe.
But really reinvest it into another project, which we can talk about another time maybe.
So yeah, that was the bar update. So
that's the bar update.
Our fucking bartender's on holidays at the moment. So thanks, Joe, you turd.
I'm going to hold that. You continue to rib him out. Yes. How did that? It was 1 weekend off that became 3 weekends.
3 weekends off. He can't count when he chooses.
Can count.
He can, but when he chooses not to, he can't. So I said to him, what? It was meant to be 1 weekend. He said, oh no, 10 days. I said, it's 18 days that you've put in. And he went, oh, I'm in Melbourne as well for a bit. I'm like, great.
So 10 days in Bali. That's how he's
Anyway,
managed to work
I
it.
hope he had a very good time, because I don't think he can afford to go anywhere on his own.
Well, that's fine, but
So-
not on what we pay him.
He gets paid fine, thank you very much. And the rates have just gone up for hospitality people, and fuck me dead.
Yeah, and he was getting paid up until recently.
We've already been paying him above award
He was getting
wages
$5
anyway.
above the casual award rate, which is pretty good. Like on,
Because Jesus Christ.
you know.
Anyway.
But
Alright, what else is on your list?
so
I don't think we're going to get through mine.
No,
Otherwise, it's going to be
we'll
here
stop
for
talking.
3 hours.
No, it's the
The
way
recap.
it's the recap. It's the way back. So the only other thing was I was saying that I'd return to training. So all these fights I've been in, it's like, I go all right. I should go back to it.
We haven't just
So-
returned to training. You've gone to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between normal and Brazilian?
Yeah,
Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
yeah.
Plus
But there's
boxing.
no original jiu-jitsu anymore.
Oh, okay.
Really, it's all kind of BJJ's taken it over. So jiu-jitsu is hilarious. I'm old and fat and slow and inflexible. So I'll be telling so I told my personal trainer today, not in so many words, hey, you're hired again. You know what we need to do? We need to work on my
Flexibility.
we need to work on my speed, we need to work on some sort of exercise for the intercostal muscles. So, do you read it? My chest is as weak as piss. Every single time I wrestle, I pop a rib. So, so he's running off to see if there's any. So basically, the indulgence that is one having a personal trainer might actually end up quite cheap from the point of view that he's also a physiotherapist, a trained,
Is he? Oh, good.
card-carrying, accredited physiotherapist. So basically, I might be getting
2 for 1.
genuine physiotherapy advice at a PT rate. So,
Yeah. Oh, that'd be
you know,
good.
I don't pay retail; get stuffed.
Jesus.
Um,
I can't stop yawning now. Excuse me, I'm drinking wine, that's why.
So yeah,
It's only 20 past 8. Jesus Christ.
But I've been training with a
Interesting dude.
very well-renowned veteran Tasmanian boxing trainer.
What's
who's
his name?
Graham George, and he's very interesting and absolutely like Mickey from Rocky. You know, he's 75 and he shuffles out, and you know, he's like, I want a straight and a rat and a straight and a rat. He's got his little stopwatch and all the rest of it. And in 1972, he would have fucking ripped your head off and
He showed
shat
me
down
that
your
photo.
throat.
We should put that. We'll show you a photo.
Yeah, he used to
It was
be
on the historical page here.
he was a tent fighter in the 70s, and he was a professional boxer.
Oh, he was too.
Yeah,
oh,
he was.
okay.
Yep, absolutely. And he said the tent fighting, they just did it for training,
Fun.
just for fun. Because I said to him, how many got you? And he went, no. He said
So where did they
were
put the tent
drunks.
up?
It was at the Launceston show.
Right. Oh, that would be fun. They should
So
bring
this
that
is
back.
just this is all. Oh, could you imagine it?
They'd never get it
But that
again.
was they probably did. They would have
circus carnival thing.
circus carny stuff. They probably did it at the Easter show until the 70s or something, you know. But
I have been to a boxing match.
oh yes,
Remember? I went to my first one here in Launceston at the Italian club.
they let kids fight here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, kids
were
and
9-year-olds.
women.
Chucking mitts at each other.
Yeah, the little nugget was good.
The other one was just scared. He had the little nugget had, so there was two same weight, but where one was a foot taller than the other one.
So he was thinner.
Yeah, and
the other one was squat.
and the little one, bless his heart, not to speak ill of him, but he couldn't box his way out of a wet paper bag.
No, he was like a wombat.
And the other one was
Arr.
actually pretty good. He was like doing his training, but the little one just ran over the top of him because the other one was terrified.
Yeah.
But if the other one actually started to box, he would have cleaned his little clock for him. But yeah, the other one just put his head down and just started swinging, you know. So that was amusing. But I've never seen that before, because I was asking, do they always have... And they go, oh yeah, the young'uns go all right, you know. And I'm just going, only exhibition fights, like they weren't... There's not like a title for 9-year-olds
No.
in Tasmania, thank Christ.
But no, it was interesting and good, and I enjoyed it.
What was your choice quote?
I wasn't sure whether I should say that or not. My quote was, I've never seen so many poor people in one spot. Because there was
You wonder why this isn't popular. We're so obnoxious.
There was, let's just say, the majority of the crowd was rough around the edges, rough
Very.
diamonds,
Yeah.
diamonds in the rough. That's the thing.
Because it was just all clubs.
Oh yeah.
You need to go to a.
I've
that's
never
what-
seen so many face tats in one spot.
Because it's just all the clubs going and their fighters and their friends and family. So it was, So it's not like it's a
huge
a
public event.
paid for money title fight where.
No, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but
Saw some blood.
you didn't see any knockouts
Knockouts.
or anything, but and they had really young kids, and then I've never seen anything. They
Old.
had old guys in their like into their 50s, and it's like, as I said to my mate that was there, it's like, come on, Jake, let's get up there and two uncles fighting at a barbecue, like
He did.
could have. And with those guys, I would have went all right. I think. I reckon I probably could have given them a run for their money.
That was one of my favourite things from that was the Mike Tyson fight, wasn't it? Those two guys commentating on the Mike Tyson
just
thing.
saying.
The young guys,
Yeah.
young black guys from America. I don't know. It was on Twitter. You showed me. But yeah. Oh no, they were live streaming it, weren't they?
They were live streaming it. Yeah, that's all the one going.
And they were fucking funny, honestly.
That N word, so we don't get taken off Twitter
Yeah.
because those N words are damn when they come out.
And it's like,
They still look great, but it was just they were just sparring. Didn't even hit it. No heads got hit.
No.
That was fine. The he dead one. That was
the other dude, the YouTuber dude.
Yeah, that was Jake Paul versus somebody else, and he just flatlined
Poleaxed him,
Yeah,
yeah.
he smashed him into the neighbouring dimension, and
He was out cold before he even hit the mat.
Yep, he was knocked out
Yeah.
and just
Boom.
everything
Went the wrong way.
and then just okay, he dead.
That was so funny.
Yeah, he just had his lights turned out,
If
turned
they
off.
live streamed another fight,
Those black kids. That would have been great if
definitely pay for that. Very good commentators.
Yeah, they were just some kids that had paid for view, and
Yeah.
I
They
thought
were
we were watching it
filming
on
their
Twitter,
phone or something.
and just shit talking.
It was great.
It was hilarious. And it's like, who's that? God,
Two uncles at a barbecue,
and they haven't seen it.
and-
It's like go see Tyson in his prime, like
And bite your ear off.
yeah, and spit it at you.
Anyway, so no, we've been to a boxing match, so that was on my list. I'd mentioned that.
So since the last 3 months has just been pretty much violence.
No, it hasn't. There's been lots of non-violent stuff here. We went to AgFest.
Oh God, did we?
Yeah.
Was that since then?
Yep.
Oh God, that long. Wow.
So yep, AgFest, which is good. Except we went for too many days this year. We haven't quite found the happy medium, so I think it's one day, one full day from start to
day.
finish.
Yeah, a big day.
So we got
Because
more
what was wrong with it last time? It's just the same
Yeah,
old.
we've been a few times now,
Yeah.
so it's the same
Same
exhibitors.
people, and I know where I want to go to, and I know what I buy, so I go and buy a pile
Oil.
I go buy oil, I buy
Chainsaws.
carby cleaner, I buy chainsaw blades, because seriously, you want to talk about genuinely displaying. I hate sharpening chainsaw. I'd have 100 chainsaw blades. It's terrible. It's just like, fuck it, I'll just buy another one, I don't care.
Yep. I go and look in the craft pavilions and the food. Then we look at the old machinery.
Yeah.
So it's
So yeah,
still
we're-
good, but one full day.
One full day. Because there's not a lot of new exhibitors, and we're starting to get to the point where we're starting to complain to people about all the other people, like we're, oh, hello, you again, oh yeah, I saw Shithead still down there, oh yeah, he's a prick, like,
to get
we're getting
known about town.
Yeah, so
What else? You got anything else on yours?
not really. I just sort of said people are angry, and I said the reason why I sort of cut back on the podcasting for a bit. We've been sailing. I've done a pile of work on the boat.
That's listed here. Yeah, we went sailing. It was very nice. Apart from I hate boats.
Charlie hates boats. She does like she likes the thought of them. She doesn't mind being underway. She doesn't like coming
I don't
around.
like the.
Well, what was wrong the
takeoff
other
and
day?
the landing
When we so I turned the boat around in the slip
at the marina.
at the marina, which is hard at the best of times because there is, coming in and out of a finger berth marina is hard anywhere, but in that one it's very difficult because of the current, and there's always current, and the boat doesn't go where you want it to, and that just comes with more experience. But I was very happy with my performance. You weren't, I don't think, at the time. You were, and you didn't want to share with me what you didn't think I listened to you, or what was the problem?
I just think it would have been easier with lines. I did tell you that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you didn't tell me at the time. I had to wait some time. If you'd done it my way, it would have been fine. It's like, yes, Captain.
You had to go out and in and out and in and out and in, and then you kept slipping because of the tide, and then you kept floating that way, and then it kept going the wrong way, and so an hour and 15 minutes later, we turned the boat around.
Minutes. Did I hit anything?
No.
Is the boat still floating?
Yes. It is turned around.
You cracked a nail, but apart from that,
Yes.
no other major injuries were reported.
No.
So
we turned the boat around.
I'm
So the boat's still
perfectly happy
good.
with that.
Still, it's done, right? You've done the major stuff, the rewiring.
Yeah, I've rewired it. I've got to put solar on, which will be done by the weekend, because I wanted to move. Because where the solar panels were, where they were attached to the roof, they're just rotting the roof out. So the next major job I've got, the major job, is to fix the rot that's in the gatehouse. There's not much, but there's a bit of rot in it that needs to be fixed. And then it needs to be slipped, and it needs to be painted, and then it is Mickey fucking Mouse.
Yeah.
And then I'll sell it and buy some heap of shit that's twice the size.
Great. So I'm getting better at lines and casting on and casting off and all that kind of shit. But yeah, it's still a to-do.
But when I went on my little
trip,
I was casting off and on heaps of times all by myself, no problems whatsoever. Just the problem you always had there was bloody fishermen on those bloody pontoons. And again, it's the last time I say this on this podcast, but bloody poor people in the bloody way that don't know the bloody rules. So
I don't think they're necessarily I suppose they are if they're fishing.
They are. Half of them are fishing for their dinner, which is fine, like more power to them, but it's like a boat's coming in, the pontoon are there for the boats, not for the fishermen. They're not
There's
fishing
cleats
pontoons.
on there for a reason.
And when they're leaving lines out, and it's just like a couple of times I've had to I had to go, mate, I need to bring this boat in. Can you pull your lines in? You know, and then a lot of them, and it's like, God. Anyway.
So speaking of solar,
no injuries.
No, we have a new string of solar panels here since then, which is good. So we've got
more power.
Good power.
More power.
For winter.
We need more batteries.
Nice. We need more batteries.
Which are expensive. But
and speaking of sailing, stay tuned. But someone might be doing a skipper's ticket.
Yeah. So I've got to pay. We have an in-principle agreement, but yes, it'll be Melbourne to circumnavigate Tasmania and then back again. So that's the deal that I've made with myself. I don't care of your view, but my view before spending, quite frankly,
$5,000.
Oh no, I was talking about spending $500,000
on the new
on
boat,
a proper boat.
Yeah.
I need to go and make sure this is for me.
So the plan. So I don't know what you're doing, but my plan.
What's your plan?
Is you're going to go and get your skipper's ticket because I'm not fucking driving. I am crew, and I will never be anything else. And then we're going to go to Greece at some point, and we're going to hire a boat, and I'm going to sail around the Greek islands. And when I say I mean you.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, can I get I don't want a Greek one. So I was going to say I need a
Greek girl.
I need.
You can have all the Greek girls you want.
I've had a few Greek girls in my time, as you well know, but no, thank you.
So yeah, that'll be the plan.
I think we might go to Italy. We'll start in Italy.
No,
We'll
Greek.
get some southern Sicilian girl.
It's funny because we've been watching all these awesome YouTubers who are
waxed
sailing around, and it looks lovely. So
yeah, and you've never been to Greece, and I have, and Greece is lovely, and the food's great, and the people are a known quantity because we've grown up around wogs all our lives.
Yep, Greek is Greek.
Yes, but anyway, but that thing. So the thinking is, it's ex-Melbourne and returning to Melbourne, so it ends up being, and it's not cheap either.
No, it's
pretty expensive. It's
totally worth it.
Okay, I'm glad you think so. Because you're talking about a Texas trip, and I'm going, shit, I'm basically you're paying for two of them. Anyway, it's ex-Melbourne, Tasmanian circumnavigation back to Melbourne again. So by the end of it, it'll be
and it's 2 weeks long.
2 weeks, 2 Bass Strait crossings, 1,100 nautical miles, a week, the best part of a week sailing down the west coast of Tasmania, which is basically
Scary.
Between Bass Strait and the west coast of Tasmania. That is pretty much the roughest sailing on this planet. So anyway,
as
the
long as you
thinking
don't drown
being...
or decide that you hate boats in the first day.
But that's, well, the whole... Oh, no, I'll stick to it. You know me, I'm fairly stubborn. But the whole thought is, if I come back to that and I go into that, and I'm sure at some point I'll find religion, but if I come back afterwards and go, yes, I'm still interested, then, yeah, I don't have a problem spending... I don't think I want to spend $500,000 on a boat, but...
No, but a nicer boat.
But
a bigger boat.
I think 200.
We're going to need a bigger boat.
We're going to need a bigger boat. But a couple $100,000 on a boat. And then, because it's not so much about the money, it's about the size. Said the actress to the bishop. No, but when I've told you the
Size
thinking
queen.
of it... I'm allowed to be. But no, it's more about... I'd feel stupid. Like if I went and chucked $50,000 in parts into Odin, you'd go, that's nuts. Because all you can do is run up and down the river in it.
Yes.
And you know, I have...
the river's lovely, but there's no one on it, and we've exhausted...
There's nothing to do on that river.
There's nothing here.
West Arm is lovely, and up around the top's okay. Like around Georgetown and Beauty Point.
They need some more pubs along the way.
Yeah. There's nothing down this end of it.
So if anyone wants to develop somewhere, Tassie is ripe for the picking, because there's nothing here.
But short of Batman, on this side of Batman Bridge, there's just nothing to do. Yes. Anyway, so that's the thought.
So
but
the boating stuff.
Yes. Anyway, so the point was, because I remember last time we used to do this, was that I wouldn't finish my point, and it was bloody annoying if I rewatched it. Was that yes, I have larger designs on sailing beyond the Tamar River, so it makes so any boat that I get, because boats are holes in the water that you throw money into, well, it would make sense if you're throwing money at a boat that's one that's big enough that if you did want to go sail the Whitsundays...
Floating apartment.
You could. And the floating apartment has worked out very well, I think. So we've definitely got our money's worth out of Odin.
Yep.
And we paid $9 for it. So we paid...
No, we paid more than that. Okay,
we paid
decent price for it.
we paid decent money for it, but we paid less for it than the engine in it's worth. And you saw that in another podcaster, not podcaster, the YouTube guy who's going, I've just bought this Volvo
Penta
D240 Penta for €25,000 and blah 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 blah. And I said, that's the same one that's in Odin. You're like going, really? And I'm like, yeah. And we did not pay anywhere near €25,000 for that boat. Deal. So we got a very good deal.
But it's still a fucking boat, and it's still a project, and it still requires constant maintenance.
Yes, which I don't mind doing. So yeah,
you like it.
I want at least ask me again after the circumnavigation, come April next year. But I would like at least 40 feet. But I might find afterwards that, you have
to go to the boat show.
35 is going to be...
We did want to go to the Sydney boat show, but we couldn't quite make it work. The flights here are a bit weird at the moment.
Yeah. So we'd lived a charmed life with our flights until recently, and now constantly everything is getting changed.
Delayed and
cancelled and moved.
Yeah. So speaking of holidays, though, so since May, we've been to Thailand. And you actually enjoyed it, yes?
Did we go there? Oh, okay.
Yep.
I forgot. What month was Thailand?
End of May.
Right.
So...
Where I basically went to fight camp for a week and beat the hell out of this poor...
We were there for a week.
Poor, lovely Thai Muslim kid.
Lovely guy. You had extra lessons above and beyond. So the resort that we stayed at...
I can't believe it was that long. I forgot about this.
What was it called? The Sands.
Yeah.
In Khao Lak, and neither of us had been to Khao Lak before, but we've all been to Thailand before.
Big fans. Enjoyed it. I didn't whinge once.
Nope. We had a lovely room, and the people were good, and the hotel was good. And
it wasn't over the top. Our room wasn't over the top. It was middle of the road.
It wasn't fancy, but...
but it had everything. It ticked all the boxes. I had my own pool, and the food was good, and the little town was good, and it had...
everything you needed.
Not too much, because I didn't enjoy the last time we were in Thailand that much, because... You try and go out. It's too much, and that was just before COVID, and too many Indians, full of Russians, too many Indians, all on the take, all spivving away, and it was just like...
was not like that.
Not at all. Well, a little tiny bit, but if you wanted that, you could go find it.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, that was good. I really enjoyed it. Definitely want to go back there next week.
So no, it was very good. And again, you had your Thai boxing every day. I did.
After I went,
I did an introduction to Thai boxing. That was enough for me. And then I did yoga classes and exercise and stuff because we were trying to be good. Remember, because you were still
on the diet.
So in between walking and doing some exercise and some swimming, we were quite good.
That's pretty funny.
Because we did eat our body weight in. The breakfast was really good. Again, Thailand usually.
We didn't go over the
buffet.
Didn't go over the top, but I didn't lose any weight, but I don't think I put that much on.
We drank whatever we wanted to drink and ate whatever we wanted to eat. Because again, we had inclusions in our little package thing, which was good, and massages and stuff. So no, it was really good. So, and it was off season. Ish. So, no, very good. And we've been to Cradle Mountain. So we've done. You've done 2 trips. I've done 3 trips since we last did a podcast. So Thailand and Cradle Mountain, and then I've been to Brisbane just last week, again with my mom.
That's second prize.
Exactly. We booked this before we'd been to Brisbane the first time, where you and I went, and it's like there's nothing to fucking do here.
I don't.
And it was even worse than last time in terms of Mum and I. We were very good in that we booked 2. Like toury things, organised things. So we booked a river cruise up Brisbane River. You go to the very end and it's about an hour, and then you have lunch at a pub there where I tapped the keg, which was very cool. They have wooden kegs, the Breakfast Creek Hotel. He figured out that I had poured a beer before as soon as I started pouring it. He's like, oh, I may own a bar. And then the second thing was the whole day vineyard tour up on Tambourine Mountain. If we hadn't done that, like we still had half a day before we needed to go to the airport, I couldn't find a single thing to do. Like there was, apart from shopping or eating, and we were both like, we don't need anything and we'll go and have breakfast. We get breakfast anyway, but yeah, Brisbane, and it's completely under construction, and someone said it's all for the Olympics, which I'm not sure when the Olympics are coming. But yeah, literally every street has scaffolding and, you know, the things where you have to walk through as a pedestrian because it's over the top of you. Jackhammers, like it's all...
No, I don't know why Brisbane's there.
So no, Brisbane's a waste of time.
And if you speak to anyone from Queensland,
I really enjoyed those 2 things though. I'd definitely do both of them again though in Brisbane. Yeah, like, but I don't know what else you'd do. And I
need to give. I want to go to the Gold Coast.
I'm going to try that
because I've never been really. I've been there 10 times, but I've never actually been there and looked around.
I've only been for schoolies.
No, I didn't go to schoolies.
I did.
Of course you did. But and the idea of maybe to visit my sister who lives inexplicably in Cairns now, go and have a look up at that. But after that, if I don't enjoy one or both of those things, Queensland can just be scratched off the map. Because after our time in Brisbane, look, I was grateful to be out of here. I was grateful to be anywhere else. The change of scenery was fine. But once I got there, there's nothing to do. And I got into another fight.
You did get into another fight in the fucking mall.
I didn't get into a fight.
No,
I
rescued.
I stopped a fight from a meth head attacking a pensioner.
An old guy, yeah. But yeah, we had a really good dinner, so I'd do those 3 things if I went back.
So yeah, Opa in Brisbane
on Eagle Street.
That was great. The food was great.
Service was exceptional. Food was fantastic.
That's fine.
Lovely. Greek people.
So fly your private jet into the airport, get in a limo, go straight to Opa, book the whole restaurant, have dinner,
a few drinks,
back in the limo, back in the Gulfstream, back to wherever you came from.
And then we went to Cradle Mountain as well. So we've done a Tassie trip. We've got some people that come into the bar regularly to
repay the favour, and
we didn't end up seeing them.
The organisation
they work up
wasn't
there
excellent.
in Cradle Mountain because it's quite remote.
It's very remote, but I didn't mind that.
Yeah,
it was not for the financially challenged.
No. Which was weird though. So when we got there, I booked.
So one night was like by the time we'd done everything and got an upgrade and got looked after and all the rest of it, we still managed to spend about $1,000, right?
Yeah, I'd say about $1,000 for one night.
For a night, I was like, oh god.
But the because I went to the day spa, because again, the girl who
We
comes in,
spent more than $1,000.
the girl, no, I think it was $1,000. The girl who comes in the bar, she works in the day spa, so I wanted to.
Yeah, so she's seen your arsehole, but she hasn't actually done a
Not
job.
seen my asshole.
But she
Thank you
hasn't.
very much.
She hasn't had a drink with you.
But the funny thing was, while you were waiting for me, you went to the bar, didn't you? The front bar, we'll call it, and you were waiting. And how much was a pie?
$38.
$38 for a pie.
Yeah,
And
pie of the day.
Pie of the day.
So I'm hoping
a special.
I'm hoping the pie of the day contained
Fuck me.
rare beasts from the Orient, sautéed to perfection, lovingly encased in a
Gold
rare
pastry.
I'm sure it came with chips and salad, but it would have needed to be a lot of chips and an awful lot of salad.
But yeah, so that was the funny thing, because I said I'd already made us a dinner reservation,
And that was good, and that was good value.
Yes, and that
was cheap.
only. I think it was $100 a head for
three
three
courses.
courses. That's why I'm sitting there going, I don't understand why a pie is $38 on this side of the wall, but if you walk through the door there and go to the restaurant, you can get 3 courses for $99. Why would you eat the pie? Like, just go in there.
Yeah, and it ended up being basically
6 course or 5 courses.
5
There was
courses.
a news-boosh between a couple
was
of
excellent.
things. Yeah, it was very, very good. So
Very
I highly
good.
recommend that. It's the Highland Restaurant at the Cradle Mountain Resort.
And the little, if you didn't already live in essentially that, because hilariously,
Yeah.
we live in basically the same level of accommodation that this was on offer in a similar fucking cold spot in a forest clearing in Tasmania. It was very nice.
I'd go for lunch or dinner.
If you can,
Bit far.
if you can spend $1,000 on Tuesday on a night out,
No, it's Monday.
or whatever it was, you know,
Yeah.
like then, and not really think twice about it, then it's worth doing. If you can't spend $1,000 and without thinking twice about it on something like that, no, don't do it.
No, it's not. The
It's not good
rooms
value.
aren't worth
Go to
it.
Bali.
Yeah. The dinner was good though.
Yeah,
I'd go just for the dinner if it was closer.
yeah.
Because $100 a head for that
Oh.
was good.
If that restaurant was in Launceston, I'd live
go,
there.
yeah, 3 times a week.
Yeah, no problem.
It was really good.
No problem. What else?
Good
what-
value, good food.
Good value, good food, good service. No
Yeah.
problem.
So,
No problem.
but yeah, it was just weird. Like one pie for 38, or 3 courses in a lovely restaurant for 99. Are you retarded? So,
Yeah.
but that's a bit of a theme at the moment.
How's that? Do you want
Restaurants.
another little splash while
Please.
we're still talking?
Restaurants. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. I find pricing in restaurants ridiculous. Like $50 for a steak. Like, I'm not. Better be a fucking good steak. Pasta. Well, that's why I haven't been back
that's
to the
where-
Italian. It's $38 for spaghetti bolognese.
Well,
I'm
that's
like,
where-
I'm not paying $38 for spaghetti bolognese.
Pub meals are all above 30 now.
Yeah.
How?
And
steaks and things.
How do people afford that?
They
If
don't.
I'm complaining,
Yeah.
I had my 25-cent bagels last night. I went bargain hunting.
As I said, this is the last time we talk money on a podcast. But
Anyway,
let's
moving
discuss
on.
our hourly rates.
No, let's not.
Okay.
The only other thing, I've got 3 more things on here. I have, since our last podcast, I have started a macrame habit.
Jesus Christ. Is that still... That's paused, though, hasn't it? You've got this merkin hanging off the wall.
I've decided I like macrame. We have fenced the house paddock. That wasn't done last time, so we have finished
And I'm working
mostly that.
And I'm working on... The main thing to finish this off is the road out to the road. That's the biggest thing, and then the rest. Then this house needs, realistically, a few weeks' work on both of them, like a solid few weeks' work, and it'd all be done.
And unfortunately, the road that we're trying to build, because it's winter time, is
just
currently
mud.
underwater. So
It's just mud.
can't-
And all I do, like the last
it's the
time I
wrong
went and did it,
season to do it.
I just damaged machines.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like permanent damage to, and then. So I drove, and then talking about permanent damage, fuck me
I
dead.
knew you were going to say.
I drove. I'm so upset. So I'm trying to drive this excavator under the house, the carport that's at the front, and it just. So I'm putting out, and I've got my earphones on. You're outside, So it's not like I ran the excavator into the side of the house where you would have heard a massive whack. But I've just seen there, and the excavator stops moving, and I'm pushing forward, and it's not moving. And I went back, because what can happen on an excavator is, especially one that's full of mud, is that the tracks can get stuck, and even some, like a massive piece of machinery like an excavator, if the tracks are stuck, it won't move. And I sort of, and I went back, and I went, and I went forward again, and I was like, and I went back, and I went forward again, and it keeps stopping, and I go back, and then I just see these massive dints that I've put. So the top of the excavator was hitting
one of our beams.
One of the massive steel beams, and it bent the shit out of it.
Yeah, it's a girder. It's not a beam. It's like a steel girder.
It's a 300 mil I-beam.
Yeah.
And
you've made waves in it.
And I've made waves in it. So I've bent the house.
Yep.
But
I said you didn't bang into it. You've pushed up onto it.
It just perfectly
3 times.
Yeah. So there's 3 great big dints in a massive beam. Because again, that's another argument that like think
Bunnings beams that you see in the roof.
Bigger. Like some sort of thing that will hold a skyscraper up.
Yeah, we had to go to what's it called, Blue Scope Steel, to get them.
And back then, before the world ended, they were $1,500 each. These beams. And it's probably 2 or 3 times that now.
Yeah.
But anyway, it is repairable. It just needs to be.
I think it's fine. I think it's a feature.
It's not a fucking feature at all. It is a testament to my stupidity.
This is the wave side of the house.
So no, it'll be heated up and bent back out. That's one of the beauties of steel. You can heat it up, you can bend it, no problem. So it just needs to be bent and panel beat the house.
I wonder how the neighbour's going with his woodwork. You prefer wood, he prefers steel.
Yeah, so
barter.
And he's building shit out of wood, and I'm building stuff out of steel. So yes, anyway, so I've got to do that road, but it's just so hard.
Yeah, it's the wrong time to do it. We've got to stop fighting against Mother Nature.
Yeah, and I understand that, and that's why. But there is some
makes it miserable
work we can do. Bought another truck.
Oh yes.
We
haven't named him yet.
No, we'll get there when we get there. So I've got another 15-ton truck.
That gentleman who you bought it from was lovely.
Yeah. So
delivered it for you.
It's registered, so I own a truck. Like, it's a truck.
You need to go and get a new license for a truck.
So I need to go and get a license for a truck. So speaking of spending money on licenses, so we're spending like $4,000 on my yacht certificate. So you can
just making it rain, aren't you?
So you can do it, and I need to go and spend like.
I don't spend any money.
Some between 2,000 and 3,000. Well, you can go and get a fucking truck license if you want.
No thanks.
If you want to roll your own tampons and be the rubber ducky.
No, thank you. I want something interesting.
Listening to Chris Christopherson soundtracks.
I like Chris Christopherson.
There you go. Convoy.
Janis Joplin, Chris Christopherson. That's fine.
But that was my other thing, which I didn't hear back from anyone. So, of course, like everything, they've privatised the truck licences. And so I get in touch with the local thing and said, yeah, I need to book in for a truck. And I thought, there might be a month or two's wait. Oh, we've closed our books for this year.
Nope, sorry.
No, so...
Go Tasmania.
No, so I can't get a truck licence locally this year. And then the one in Devonport, there's still...
do it in Sydney?
No, because I need a Let me come back to that one. You might be able to get an international licence.
International?
Sorry. National. Maybe. I hadn't thought about that till then.
You could fly over there, cheap fare.
I don't know. I don't know if the heavy rigid licence is actually covered by that. I could move back to Sydney, do my licence. Yeah.
We've still got an address in Sydney.
Of course I do.
So you're not moving.
L6 5 to 7 Heifer Road.
Anyway, but it's just ridiculous here that they're always banging on about how they can't get truck drivers and bus drivers.
Well, I can't become a truck. I could be a truck driver by next Tuesday.
Physically get your license because what was the excuse? Someone's retired.
Someone's retired. They've left, and then why don't you hire? Oh, we can't get staff. So okay. But
I do understand the can't get staff though. People
it's
don't
not an
want
excuse.
to work.
It's not an excuse for that's just it then. But anyway, so I wrote to the Minister for Transport.
Oh, and you heard back?
No.
Oh, of course not.
No, I didn't. But I wrote to the Minister of Transport saying, I'd like a truck. I've bought a truck. I'd like a licence to drive it, and I can't get one because you idiots privatised the truck licences, so now...
Did you go and get your book?
There isn't any. No, I haven't done that yet.
No.
Keep forgetting. Another job on the list.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Anyway.
But anyway.
The only other thing I've got in here, which is very important, something that we've been diligently... Well, you have... attempting to make the perfect sweet and sour pork.
Cooking.
Because Because I've got photos of you on my phone with you trying to cook.
Nah, going off that too.
I thought it was good.
Nah, I thought it was crap. I need to wait until I get... The whole house stinks of grease for the next week,
that.
so I need to... I'll pick up my my culinary explorations.
Once we can stand outside and cook.
Because it's just so cold and
wet.
Miserable at the moment. So in a month or two I maybe start that again.
Yeah.
So I think that's it.
That's all I had on my list.
Off you go, my children. Beware of wolves.
Oh God, I forgot that. Great. What a shame that didn't fall off the wall.
I remember everything. So yeah, that's it. So we may or may not do some more of this. I think we will a little bit when there's something to talk about.
It's always something to talk about.
But I keep thinking I'm trying to do it on Sunday, but yeah, I'm usually too tired and too drunk by the time I think it's. Start me on the in full flight. Let me tell you another thing.
Oh Jesus! Nothing else of interest. Same old, same
Not really.
old.
So there's nothing really coming up. The only big thing
Move
we're
the
going to
pigs.
try and work on is just to shift the bar. So we'll see if that actually happens.
And we'll be starting a few more projects too. As I said, once the weather finds up a little bit, it's very difficult to do outdoor stuff.
A few more projects. I just want to finish that road.
I want my shed. Building me a shed.
Yeah, well, there's possibilities for that.
We're going to build somewhere to exercise outside. We're going to build a shed for me.
Yeah, so.
Because again, we thought we had so much firewood, and we've gone through it. It's done. We've had to do 2 more lots because we've been running the fire constantly. Not that it's been...
Hasn't
been frosty.
Hasn't been
maybe we were
bitterly
talking
cold.
about... Yeah, it's been cold. Like it was frost this morning, but it's just been low, constant, and wet. I mean, just wet. Like I haven't used my clothesline until today for months. Probably since May.
Yeah. No, it hasn't stopped raining for...
I've been using the laundromat to dry clothes because it just won't work.
That's another thing we need to build. So a generator.
I can wash them. I've got plenty of solar to wash them, but I can't dry them because it's too cold outside.
So yes, that's another plan. That we're going to get I lust over a shed full of generators, which I already have a shed full of generators, but it's also a shed full of delicate electronics. So I need to split those things up.
Sort that out.
And then have a commercial or semi-commercial dryer. Oh, and it'll be grand. And then size the shit out of those generators to actually set up some decent, properly sized generators and have them all run off chip fat. So, which will be fun. Anyway, that's it. All right, so we really are off now. Goodbye.
Goodbye.